Welcome to my Facebook Live. You know what? I was having a conversation with my auntie, just talking about my previous Facebook Lives. If you've not seen them, there was one that I was talking about. It wasn't even intentional. Like, literally, when I start talking, it flows. Like, I don't actually have an idea of what I'm going to talk about. But lately, I've been asking you guys to let me know what you think. What would you like me to talk about? What would you like me to cover? And I spoke to my auntie the other day, gave her a phone call, just returning a call and that, and I was just speaking to her, telling her what I'm doing. She's like, yeah, that's really good what you're doing, yeah, keep doing what you're doing, well done. And then I mentioned the topic of makeup, cake-up. She took offense to that, fair enough, she's been through some depression, she's gone through a lot with her marriage, and the thing is for me anyway, regarding this, is that I didn't want to upset her. She was telling me how just a touch of a brush could make a woman feel amazing. And I thought to myself, well, fair enough. I ain't telling you women not to wear makeup. No. I ain't telling you not to wear makeup. What I'm saying is that women wear too much makeup. And I don't know how many men out there agree with me. I mean, in the sense of the amount of makeup women wear is unreal now. You don't even, do you know what? They can transform into another person. Like literally when the makeup's washed off, say they jump into a swimming pool, but then again, I'm pretty sure they've got watertight makeup now. So, you know what? It is what it is. So maybe they may come out of the water and they look the same. But when they do, like if you actually get with a woman and she's literally caked up to the max with a lot of makeup on her face, you're not actually realizing who you're actually choosing. And this video concept is about basically asking the question, is personality or is image more important than personality? Now, leave a comment, like, share, find out what everyone else on your timeline, your Facebook, actually think of this. Because for me, personally speaking, a woman could look amazing, but if they ain't got the personality, I don't know if it's just because of my young mentality back in the day. I had a girl that was interested in me. I was like, how old was I? About 16. I'm going to guess it, roughly about 16. And this girl, I was like, yeah, her cousin's nice and that. So her cousin was like, yeah, I've got my cousin coming down. And I heard so much good things about this girl. I was like, wow. I was like, oh my gosh, this girl's yeah, this girl's going to be nice. I was like, my boys all repping me off and everything. I was like, yeah. And I was like, when I saw this girl, I was like, yeah, she was a pretty girl, still, light-skinned girl. Oh, and that's another subject in itself, but the whole light skin, dark skin kind of thing and phase and what they used to show on the media, mainstream media, with light skin being more prettier than dark skin, which is a load of rubbish. But for me personally, in regards to this, I saw her and I started talking to her, and then she come up with a high-pitched voice, she sounded like a mouse. And then my mind started going on overtime, and I started thinking to myself, woo, I don't think I could deal with this girl, man, because her voice was just so high. And then when she was talking, it was not even the voice so much. It's when she started talking, she just had this mindset that didn't really relate to what my mindset was at. And my mindset wasn't really on relationship, marriage and that, not at that age. And at the same time, I was like, oh, no, this isn't the girl for me, man. Regardless if it was as a link up or a girlfriend, this isn't the one. And as I was thinking to myself now, I was just really, this whole, going back to what my auntie said, I was like, okay, makeup. Now, women is putting on so much makeup now. We're in an image world, just where image is everything. Image is king and queen. And sadly, okay, I didn't realize that inviting someone who's watching a video automatically does you a video call. So you can video response back. So if you didn't want to say anything to man first or call, leave a comment. This is about women wearing too much makeup, and has it got to an extreme point that they're no longer really appreciating what they actually look like, and genuine beauty is skin deep or is it not? And personality itself, is it more important than image? Now, for me, personality is always going to be there. It can change from time to time, depending on person's circumstances. But in regards to the makeup and that, you're literally giving a false image. you're basically lying of what you really look like, lying without actually using words. It's like the guys now, I don't know so much about in the UK, but I know in America, they're literally giving themselves hairlines, putting on wig, like literally skin fades, and it's really not, they ain't even got any hair. They're bald as day, like, and they're pretending they've got hair, and that's mad. And then you got the ones where back in the day, women had the like that little gel, little implants to make it look like they've got a bit of chest and that, and wear a bit of makeup, but nothing like how it is now. Now, women literally look like drag queens. I said it, and I don't mean to say it like that, but some do look like drag queens because they don't have a clue what they're doing. They're just turning up the makeup. The friends ain't letting them know the reality of it, that they don't look nice and they've got so much makeup on, But at the same time, it's big business makeup, isn't it? At the end of the day, to change the way you look. But now, I personally don't think it's right. I'm entitled to my opinion because, okay, certain women are insecure on the way they look because of what reason? It can't be just to the fact that they woke up and they were like, oh, I don't look nice. It's because the mainstream media are portraying people or portraying the celebrities in a certain way that they have to look. We have to look and mold into their shadow and be a clone of them and what they look like, because if we don't look like them, then we're not socially accepted. But at the same time, in saying that, it's wrong because that kind of just puts young girls that are growing up in a box, in the sense that they feel they have to wear a certain amount of makeup, they have to look a certain way, they have to have surgery. You have to have surgery in order to be able to get a man or a woman, because we're in that time now that men and women, women and men, men and men, and women and women. And then we even got the thing of robots now. Flipping it, that's another subject. I don't even really want to touch on that subject right now. But yeah, Samantha, you can't have a meaningful relationship with image. That's very true. You can't. Very true. Like, but at the same time, I know, like with us humans, we have to like what we see. But it's not all just about the visual experience for a man. For me personally, I'm speaking, I don't know about all men. It's more of the whole package. The woman can look beautiful, but if her mind ain't beautiful as well, then it's not a done deal at all. You've got to be able to relate. You've got to have the mindset, that your mindset's similar. And if it isn't, if it is no kind of like opposites attract, let's not get it twisted. But at the same time, if the image is everything, then what kind of world are we living in? What are we portraying to our children? Because it's sad to see that we've got kids wearing makeup, going to school and wearing a ton of makeup on, and I don't even know if the schools are accepting that, but I know there was a boy that wasn't accepted into school, or he was, I don't know the whole story about it. He had dreads and they said he couldn't come in. Like, it's a private school and he's got dreads, and that was controversial. They went on the news and all of that. But for me, makeup is just, or it's not even, I'm not even going to keep saying makeup, because it's not only that. Men, like I said before, putting on fake hairlines, they're literally going and getting surgery. Some survive the surgery and they get fake pecs and stuff, and people going to the extreme of Photoshop now just to make themselves look a certain way, and they don't look like that. They're sending a false signal and image out there to whoever's interested in them in whatever kind of way, that's not what they look like. I personally want to, I'm not sure, I didn't even actually Google it to see if you can actually do a passport after you've done coutouring, because you literally can put makeup on and put the makeup up in such a way that you look like your friend. You could actually, it's such a way that they're doing it now, that they're playing with the light tones and the dark tones, so when the light reflects on the face, if they had a big double chin, they can actually reflect the light away to make them look like they haven't got a double chin. And it's all kinds of crazy little tips and tricks that they're doing now with the makeup and that. For me, like, it's really important for someone to really love who they look like, what they look like, because the more and more you think that you're ugly, I'm going to say it, the more and more you think you're ugly, when you look in the mirror, all you're going to see is just nothing for beauty. You're just going to see pure ugliness and dark, and it's just, you're going to go spiral into that deep hole of depression, and then you're going to have to start working hard into seeing how you can provide yourself makeup. If you've got a good job, then you can just go get makeup and brush it on. And apparently, according to my auntie, the little touch of the makeup, just the brush. I'm not taking a piss. I know what my auntie's saying. Just the touch of the brush, a woman could feel like, whoa, amazing. Obviously, the industry wouldn't be billion-dollar industry if it wasn't for the fact that women feel amazing when they just put that little brush on, a little eyeshadow or makeup and that. But the thing that upsets me is for those that actually go out of their way to make the image look a certain way, and they are literally not spending money on their kids or their children and such, or not even like paying the bills and that, but they literally got their nails done, their hair done, the makeup's on point, you know, they got the latest clothing and that, but they're not providing for their children. So that's an upsetting thing, you know, it's in itself. And then, you know, you got the ones that are paying for surgery and that, but they ain't even got a roof over their head, or they're renting, but they're paying X amount of money to make themselves look a certain way. And one thing that I will say is money cannot buy happiness, clearly not. If you see all these celebrities having mental breakdowns and having surgery just to make themselves look a better way, sadly to say, it's what it is. But one thing they obviously lack is motivation, personal development, you know, in regards to how they carry themselves and the way they look and the way they react. And someone asked me to talk about relationships, so I'm going to touch on relationships and that. In a relationship, you need to be 50-50 or 50-50, and you need to talk, and communication is key. Like, one thing I've noticed from growing up is that a lot, my sisters and their friends and that, they used to talk about, oh, you know, we'll get advice from each other. And then you would have one friend of theirs that's literally having difficulties with their man, and they're going from relationship to relationship to relationship. But then what I don't understand is why someone will go to that person who's had problems with their relationship. Fair enough, they may have actually experience and can give good advice, but in the same time, same way of saying it, basically, they may, if you flip it around, they've had such bad experience. Can they really give good advice? You're not really going to go to someone for advice on an interview, knowing the fact that every single job they've gone to, they've not got the job. So why are you going to go for them for, like, why are you going to ask them for advice? Because they've clearly not got the job. And probably 99% of the time, they don't even know why they never got the job, because they never bother asked. And they didn't, you know, but so that's one scenario. It's like you going for, if someone, you wanted to learn to drive and you're getting a driving instructor, or getting someone that says they're a driving instructor, but not one of their pupils have actually passed their driving test. Do you get where I'm coming from in this one? Does that make sense? So, like, in regards to relationships, a lot of the time relationships fail because family and friends get involved, you know, or you don't get along with your partner's family, you know, and that's something that needs to be worked on. But if you don't talk and discuss certain things, then it will just continue to spiral out of control. A lot of people get into relationships and don't actually explain and say that they've actually got certain debts, you know, or they've got children, or what they've done in life, you know, or they've got a criminal record, or some cases where you've heard of guys getting or women getting with in a relationship, and they don't actually say, oh, you know what, I've just come out of prison. Is this stuff, should you mention it, or should you allow to forget, or should you forgive to forget? But at the same time, once you're in that relationship and the person is basically saying to you, like, 5 years down the line, that, you know, oh, by the way, I've got kids, you know, obviously that's going to be a major impact on your relationship, because you're going to actually then say, hold up a second, is everything you've said to me a lie? But for those that are Christians or or believe that you should forgive and forget, is it fair to say that if someone says, is it fair to give them a second chance? Like, oh, you know, maybe the lie, because when you lie about something, eventually the lie just becomes reality to you. You keep lying about it constantly over and over again, then all of a sudden you actually think that lie is true. And then you continue to lie, and then you lie to everyone else around you, then everyone else is lying together, saying you're lying together, not lying together. But, you know, the sad thing about it is that I will say it goes down to the fact that with society now, it's acceptable to actually get a divorce. It's acceptable to get a divorce, to be not in a, to not be married for long. There's no point going and getting marriage counselling, you know. And mainstream media shows that as well, and they're capitalising on it as well. I remember my mum a couple of years back, or more than a couple of years back, probably 2, 3 decades ago. My mum said, "Oh, they're doing divorce cakes now," and I was like, "Oh, really?" So that, you see, people make money out of it. They're like, okay. So, and at the same time, you're seeing celebrities and all that going into relationships, and then they're doing do you know what? I don't know if any one of you know what this is called, but what is it when they write a contract out? To, in my words, they write a contract out to say, "Oh, when we go in this marriage, that everything that I go in with, you don't get a penny from me. You don't get anything that I have that I've had before I met you." And for me, I feel like if you're going to go into a relationship and you're going to get married, then but what they have and what you have should be shared amongst you. Like, so if you was to divorce, it should be split 50-50, but obviously that's not the case. And you can see people getting married and they're getting major deals out of it, especially in the celebrity world, and it's a sad thing. I personally feel in relationships now with the younger generation, they lack respect for one another, and they're more so about image than anything else from what you can see and they show like on social media and what you see when you're actually visually out walking about within the community, that they don't have respect for each other, and they literally, it's all about basically image, you know, and seeing how many people you can actually sleep with, and competing with their friends. And they say, I've heard, I'm not sure where it was, that basically women don't actually see the same. I mean, women don't see the same way men see things, and I don't really agree with that. I feel so like a couple of years back, after secondary school, I'm probably about 20s, women started to be more hungrier for men than men being hungry for women. In a sense, they will go and actually chat you up, ask for your number, your digits, and all that, But with the whole thing with relationships, the one thing that I feel is that if you go in and you literally create in your mind what you want and you visualize what you want, you'll get it back. Now, and you have to give what you give into the relationship, all of you, and have time for each other. Because I've made a mistake in the past and present of spending too much time going into my work or business and not actually realizing it's having a major effect on my relationship, Now, your employer will tell you to do their overtime. They don't care about your relationship or whatever you have to do outside of work. All they care about is making sure that their pockets get filled and their clients are happy. They do not care about you. You are replaceable. You're not indispensable. You're replaceable, And a lot of people, maybe when they're going for a job or employment or contract, they're thinking more of the money and not actually thinking of the actual fact that it may really jeopardize your relationship and you seeing your children, or vice versa, either way. And one thing you need to remember is you're important, and I'm not going to get it twisted, and I'm going to go straight to it. You are important, and you need to spend time on you, to make time on you, spend time, a lot of time on you, as much time as you can possibly spend on you. Because the thing is, like, we spend a lot of time with everything else, but we don't, and I'm even talking about relationships. I don't want to get a contradiction on it, but you need to have time for each other. At the same time, you need to have time for yourself to remember who you are as a person and what you represent, and enjoy doing what you do. Go and do what you enjoy doing. Your passion, your drive, your desire, your focus, and everything that you want in life, don't let it ever be dissolved because of who you're with, relationship, business, or friends. Because at the end of the day, when you really think about the deepness of this all, we're all here today and we'll all go tomorrow. We've only got one life, so live your life. And live your life and treat people like how you would like to be treated. And don't get it twisted in one way or the other, that who you're with and around you does affect who you are, personally speaking. So like, once you're in a relationship and your partner is like, "Oh, I don't really like who you're around," they're seeing all these people that's around you. So have a scenario. Basically, you're in a relationship and you're married, but your friends are all single and they all go out clubbing, raving, sleeping around, etc., etc. And then that's all you are around all the time. Now, birds of the same feather, so to say, back in the day, flock together. That's what they say, flock together, and it's true. And even if you don't realize it subconsciously, it will pick it up. like you won't even realize it. You know, like I was listening to some music when I was coming into work, and I was all in my element. I was like, yeah, this is going to tell me to shut up that I can't sing and I'm out of tune. So I was like, I was singing away, Jodeci, R. Kelly, Usher, and they're all singing about cheating and laying in the bed and creeping and, you know, TLC, Monica. Who remember those days, R&B and the love and all of that? But the thing is, what I didn't realize, that only now I'm realizing, but when I was younger, I didn't actually notice, is the fact that they're all singing about cheating and going with next man's wife or husband, and it's nothing good. Like, and I didn't even think it had an effect on me, to be fair. I was like, oh yeah, this is the tune. Like, anyway, so as I was driving into work and that, my mind, I was just singing, I was in the concert, I was there, it was like the six pack and everything, I was just screaming and singing away in the song. My imagination running wild with me. But anyway, as I was singing along now, I started listening to the songs and I was like, oh yeah, lay in your bed, no one will know, change the sheets and something. I was like, was it something about changing the sheets, no, so that leave no sweat or some wet or something. It's some explicit track. I think it was is it H-Town or Jodeci, one of the two. But you know, if you've listened to that music before, you'll understand where I'm coming from. Now, as I'm listening to it, I'm like, did this music actually influence who I am as I grew up? Like, because I wasn't even faithful, I wasn't into no relationship. But then I'm young anyway, so why would I want to be? You know, and like for certain uncles of mine who have X amount of children and that, and give like lovely advice of when I was growing up, when I was younger, about how like just going through different women and women. It wasn't really the best of role models, but at the same time I looked up to my uncle as a dad, like because my dad wasn't around, you know, and I wanted to be maybe not so much like him, but at the same time, yes, in the sense of the fact that he looks after his children regardless of how many women he's been with, you know, and he makes sure he takes them all on holiday. And I've got a lot of respect for him for doing that, you know, a lot of respect for it. And I don't even know if he knows how much respect I've got for him for the fact that he takes care of all of his children. So no matter, even if the fact of a man is unfaithful and he's got loads of children, at least they're carrying their weight and going out of their way to provide for their children, you know, take them on holiday. And if you can't afford it, it's not always about money. You could just take them to the park and just make sure, you know, that they're all happy. But regarding this whole thing about it, the music really, when I thought about it, I literally listened to the music 24/7. So it did have an impact on how I treated women and that. And then people may say, oh, music doesn't have an effect, but it does. It really does. Like if I'm playing certain music and I'm driving, it does have a slight effect on me. More so when I was younger than now that I'm older. But yeah. So this video was basically about personality. Does it have more weight in gold than image, or vice versa, or is image more important than actual personality when you're going into a relationship? What do you actually decide is more? What do you weigh? How do you weigh the pros and the cons of it all? Do you think image, or do you think personality? What do you think 50-50? Leave a comment, like, turn on notifications, and share this video. Yeah. All right. Continue to make a habit out of your great habits, and look at your bad habits one by one. Stay positive, productive, and patient, and believe in achieving God. 1.